Thank you for stopping by my channel, A Square Pillow Isn't Square, the place where you will learn anything and everything you wanted to know about home deck sewing. Today's video is about how to make a pillow cover with a 1-inch flange and an overlap hidden zipper on the bottom of the back. This is one of the easiest pillows there is to make, so it's a great project for a beginner, and it's also really pretty versatile. This tutorial shows you how to make a 1-inch flange, but you can do a really tiny 1/4 or 1/2 inch flange on this if you just want a really small detail around the edge. And you can go up to, I'd say, about 1.5 inches just by adjusting the cut size of your fabric. Anything bigger than that, I feel like you're going to need to support the fabric a little bit better so your flange isn't floppy. And I actually have a couple of videos on the channel about that very thing, so you might want to take a look at those. All right, so what do you need to do this? There's really only 3 things you need: your decorator fabric, your pillow insert, and an all-purpose standard zipper. I'm not using an invisible zipper or anything special for this video. As you can see here, I use zipper tape and zipper slides and make my own zippers, but you can also buy an all-purpose zipper and just cut the end of it off to get the length that you need. Other than that, some matching thread and you're good to go. Okay, the first thing you need to do is accurately measure your pillow insert so you know how to make a really well-fitting cover and you know how big to cut your fabric. If you're not sure how to do that, there's a video on the channel. Here's a picture of what it looks like. You can do a search, and I'll also link to it in the description. So you will measure and determine how big you want your finished cover to be. When I measured this insert, I determined that the size of the fabric that is going to be fitted tightly to the pillow, not including the border, the little flange, but the fitted part's going to be 20 inches. Now add 3 inches to whatever number you got, and that is how big you're going to cut your front and your back. You will also need one more small piece of fabric, which is 6 inches in height and as wide as your pillow. So mine is going to be 6 inches by 23 inches. If this is a pillow cover that is going to be taken on and off a lot or washed a lot, I recommend finishing the bottom edge of your back piece, either with a serger or a zigzag, just to keep fraying to a minimum. That way threads won't get caught in your zipper. Now take that same piece, right sides down, and fold up 2 inches of that bottom hem as you see here. If you are at all interested in how I construct my work tables, there is also a video I'll link to in the description that explains the process I have for making this fantastic table. The next step is to take that 6-inch scrap of fabric that you cut and fold it in half, wrong sides together, as you see here. Cut your zipper tape to the correct length. Overall, it's going to be about 1.5 to 1 5/8 inches shorter than your pillow width. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and put your zipper pull onto your tape. Now take your back piece, as you see here, center your zipper on that 2-inch fold and center it from side to side too, so there's an equal amount of fabric extending beyond the zipper on each side. Pin the top side of the zipper in place and take it to your machine. Now put your zipper foot on your machine and sew close to the teeth on the side that you've pinned. As you can see, my zipper foot probably looks quite a bit different than yours. So however your zipper foot works, go ahead and sew whichever direction will get you to sew that side of the tape on against the teeth. Now when you get to where your zipper pull is, wherever that happens to be on your tape, put your needle in just enough to get through the fabric and hold it in place, and reach underneath and work that zipper tab back behind your foot so that you can continue sewing to the end of the tape. If you're having trouble getting the pull to go beyond the needle and the zipper foot, it might mean that you've stitched just a little bit too close to the teeth of the zipper, so you might want to check that. So now you should have something that looks like this. Your zipper tape should be sewn on nice and close to your teeth. This might be a good time to just check and pull the zipper pulled down, make sure nothing's getting caught or snagged. Now take that little folded piece that you have and press the fold up against the teeth on the other half of your zipper tape. You want them to be nice and close to the teeth, nice and even, and you want your cut ends of your fabric, your edges lined up, so everything is nice and square and in place, and you will simply just pin that piece of fabric onto the bottom piece of your tape. We're going to go sew this on just like we sewed on the other side. If you are someone that's worried about your zipper pull coming off one end or the other end of this type of tape while you're working on it, you can always just do a little whip stitch right across the teeth near each end, and that will keep your zipper tab from accidentally sliding off. But don't worry, when this pillow's finished, the ends will be completely secured. Now, just like on the other side, when you get to your zipper pull, keep your needle in the fabric a little bit, lift your presser foot up, and just work it back until you get behind the foot and stitch all the way to the end. An optional little extra step you can do here is put your regular presser foot back on, and you can baste over this flap just to kind of keep it in place right near the edge. As you can see, I'm barely 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the fabric, and that'll just keep kind of everything all lined up. All right, now put that back that you just prepared right side up, and take your front and put it right side down, right sides together. Line up your 4 sides. Start with the top and the left and the right, and pin around all 4 sides. If there is any excess left at the bottom, trim it off at the bottom, not at the top. Now what you should notice is that when you sew around all 4 sides with your 1/2 inch seam allowance, you are going to miss the end of that zipper tape. And that means that that zipper tape will not create bulk in the seam when you turn it right side out. Oh, one more thing before you sew all the way around this pillow. Reach inside and make sure that your zipper is open enough where you can get your hand in there to turn the pillow right side out. All right, now sew all the way around this pillow in a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Doesn't matter where you stop and start, you're going all the way around. You'll notice here that I'm doing my little taper to the corner with an overlap at the pivot. If you have no idea what that's all about, I think probably one of the very first videos I made is about the fact that a square pillow is not actually a perfect square. And this is what prevents you from having those big pointy, what they call dog ears on the corners. So if you'd like to get a better understanding of that, I will link to that video in the description as well. And here's that close-up of how my stitching line misses my zipper tape. All right, unzip the pillow cover, and before we turn it right side out, I always clip my corners you want to make sure you do not clip your stitching. The idea is to just reduce some bulk at the corners, which will help give you a cleaner corner. And turn it right side out and pop those corners out. I work my fingers all the way into the corner. I stick my thumb all the way in and press my finger against it on the outside and pop it out. Now it's time to do a really nice sharp press to get a clean, crisp edge around that very outside of your flange or your border area of your pillow. You can do this two ways. You can kind of lick your fingers a little bit and roll them together to make them a little damp, and you can roll the fabric back and forth between your fingers to help encourage that seam edge to come all the way out. Or you can also put pressure down with your fingertips and roll the top layer back and forth, and that also helps encourage the stitching line area, the very outer edge, to come all the way out. Just do that all the way around and press around all four edges. All we're going to do now is mark our stitching line for our flange or our border area. This is just a top stitch line that goes through both layers. You can do it from the front, from the back, it doesn't really matter. There's two easy ways to do this. One is to use a disappearing ink pen like I have here and just mark in your 1-inch border all the way around, connect your lines, or just sew from dash to dash, or you can do what I do. This is a magnetic seam guide. As you can see, the whole back of it is a magnet. When I'm not using it, it just sticks to my sewing machine. And then when I want to use it as a guide for my sewing, this is how I normally set it up. I will take a little ruler. I will make sure my needle is lined up right on the distance that I want. In this case, it's right on the 1-inch mark of my ruler. And then I just push my little seam guide up against the ruler, and it's sticking to the metal plate of my sewing machine. Move my ruler, and now it's set at 1 inch. And it's really strong, so it'll hold tight. I did put a link in the description to ones on Amazon that are really similar to this that you can buy. They come in handy for all kinds of things, and you can set them as far or as close as you need. So you just gently line your fabric up against the edge of the seam guide and sew. On most fabrics, you will have to pin your layers together to keep the two layers from shifting or that top layer from pushing ahead of the bottom layer. This outdoor fabric is really stable, so I don't even have to pin. Now, when you get down to the corner, you want to stop at 1 inch. So you can either put a pin in or just, measure when you get there like I'm doing. And when you get to about 1 inch, you just lift your presser foot, pivot. I do lift the corner a little bit to make sure I don't push on that magnet. And also when you get to the side where you are going over your zipper tape, this is where you lock in the end of your tape so the zipper pull doesn't come on or off. So I will go back and forth over my zipper tape just at that spot on each side. That way, I've got a really strong stop and start for my zipper pull. All right, and here we are coming back down the side with the zipper on the other side. Make sure your zipper pull is not all the way at the end. If you sew over your zipper pull, you are going to break your needle and maybe even knock the timing out of your machine. So just be careful that it's just the teeth you're going over. Go back and forth and keep on going. We're done. How easy was that? Open up your zipper. There's my little method for sticking a pillow insert inside the cover. I make sure and work those corners of the pillow insert all the way up into the corners of the cover and close it on up. You're done. What's really nice about this method is it's really easy to install this zipper, and when it's sitting on a chair or sofa like this, you can't even see the zipper flap. If you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and click your little notification bell. That way, you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching and happy sewing!